Hey guys, Brother Keith. As you notice, I don't have my folks with me tonight. Trying to figure out the best format. I think on Wednesday nights I'm going to do more devotional, a little bit shorter videos. I'm going to call it the Word on Wednesday. If you guys would like, or you say, man, I missed the music, or I have a question that I'd love for you to talk about this, shoot me a text or drop a comment. I don't get a lot of feedback, so I'm not exactly sure. I do have some families that are reaching out to me, but on the whole, I'm not getting a lot. I hope you guys are getting these, and I hope they're helpful to you guys. We've been talking about the 15 questions that teenage Christians ask. The one tonight is why is it so hard to be consistent in the Christian life as a teenager? I want to say to you guys, this is a great question. And it's a great question in that it's not just teenagers that struggle. I mean, adults struggle as much or more than teenagers. I know as a teenager, a lot of times you feel like the whole world is on you, and you feel like you're a complete failure all the time. We were having this conversation yesterday with one of my kids in the house, and they're like, man, I just feel like everybody thinks I'm a failure. And I know that it's hard, and you get this feeling that you're being beat up, and you feel like this absolute failure at times. I'm going to tell you that where it comes to our Christian walk, I think we all struggle with that. I know that in my personal walk, I feel like I'm failing sometimes also. I noticed today when I was looking or thinking about this subject that I found this thing that said the top 35 diets in America. That is a crazy thing. If there are the top 35, I wonder how many diets there are. And if you pause this and as a family, y'all just try to talk about like how many, I bet you can come up with 20 diets just like that. You know, there's Weight Watchers and keto, and there's, island diet, and there's paleo, and there's all these kinds of different diets. Why are there so many diets? I think that, and this is why I think it's interesting, is in my life, I have dieted off and on my entire life. I've lost 100 pounds 3 different times in my life, and it's like it never ceases to be a struggle. I get healthy and I do all the right things, and for a few months I do good, and then I slowly creep off the wagon and it doesn't work. And then I try the next thing, and I do it, and it goes good. And then I go a couple of years and I don't take care of anything. And I mentioned the dieting to say that I think that the physical struggle that a lot of us have with healthiness is the same as the spiritual struggle that a lot of us have with healthiness. I think it's hard to be spiritually healthy, and I think you have to work at it. One of the passages that I had kind of thought about when I was looking at this is in Romans 7. And in Romans 7, Paul's having a conversation. He's saying, man, the same thing. Why is it that I do these bad things? I want to do good things, but I do bad things. In 7:15 he says, for what I'm doing, I do not understand, for I am not practicing what I would like to do, but I'm doing the very thing I hate. And that's the whole deal. When I look at my weight, I'm like, I'll get up in the morning, I'm like, I've got this, I'm going to do great. And then by lunch, I'm eating pizza buffet somewhere. Or I'll get up and I'm like, I'll make it all the way through the day, and at supper time somebody comes in and says, wouldn't Chinese be great? And the next thing you know, I didn't even want it or think about it, or Garrett or one of the kids walks through and there they go down the hall with the milkshake, and I need to have one. This same thing happens to us spiritually. You have to guard yourself, and honestly, you have to work at it all the time. And here's why. All of us have a tendency to spiritual unhealthiness. We're all pulled that way. And we have this nature within us that wants to do bad stuff. Jesus had this conversation. He said, all your righteousness is as filthy rags before the Lord. Outside of God and His help, even our good stuff is kind of bad stuff. And no matter how much we begin to subjugate our flesh, and that's what it's called, our sin nature, we still get pulled to do these things. And so I say to you, I know that at this point, a lot of you got a lot of free time on your hands. And I will tell you, free time, I had a professor when I was going to seminary used to say, an idle mind is the devil's playground. And, you got a lot of time sitting there and nobody's kind of supervising you. And the next thing you know, you're watching stuff you shouldn't be watching. And it's kind of like me with Pizza Hut. You got up and you wanted to do well spiritually, but you just didn't. And I'm going to say this too. And I've mentioned this several times in the videos. Shortly, I feel like we're going to go back to real life. And you're going to have choices to make, and there are things that make you stronger. If I want to lose weight, I have to go to the gym. It helps. I mean, I can do some workouts at home, but it's just not quite the same as I go to the gym and I have all the equipment there. There are trainers there that can help me lift and do things. And the more engaged I get at the gym, the better I am at losing weight. See, church is the spiritual gym. And we haven't really been able to go to the gym, and we haven't been going to church. And I will tell you guys that it's really easy to get out of the habit. I was talking to the kids today, and I'm like, man, when we get back, I got to reel everybody in. I don't know how long, we're going to have the seniors before y'all are graduated. We have a couple of families that have their dads are pastors, and they've moved on. We're going to have to really put our nose down. We're going to have to reel back in the kids that, maybe don't have parents at church, and we're going to have to get after it. It may be that our great mission field this summer is just rebuilding the spiritual continuity of what we had. So I need you guys to pray for the ministry. I'd love to hear from you. Like I said, I've tried to call some students. I've been kind of going through the list and calling a few of you every night. But man, you take the initiative and give me a call. I'd like to hear how you're doing. And man, I look forward to real soon being back with you guys. But look here, spiritual, you got to work at it. And don't feel like you're a failure. It's every day, and a diet is every day. You get up every day, you do the things you know you got to do, you do the things you don't. And here's the last part of this. Years ago, I got really into lifting weights and running, and my body began to change, and I began to notice it in the mirror. And I had heard this forever, that if you ever get into really working out, it becomes almost addictive. And for the first time in my life, I loved being in the gym. I loved working out, and I loved what it was doing, and I loved the person that I became as I worked out, and it just was awesome. So I say to you guys, where it comes to your spiritual, church is your gym, the commitment level is all you, and the more you work out, the better you will look spiritually. And if you will pour yourself into it, you'll wake up and you'll find that you really like the person that you are, and more importantly, God likes the person that you are. I'm going to say a quick prayer for you. This is a Word on Wednesday, and we'll release a regular video on Sunday night. I've got a couple. We're going to talk a little bit about dating, I hope. That's the plan. Now, that might change. It is Easter, but we may release a video anyway if I can. If not, we'll release it on Wednesday. But I would like to do a video on dating pretty soon. Let me pray for you guys. Father, I come to you in prayer, and I just lift up the students of Calvary and all over town. Be with everybody in our church. Keep people safe, and thank you for allowing us to open your word. Help us train spiritually so that we can be strong for you, Father. And